So a little while ago I did a video with my good friend Average Joe. We like to have these casual conversations every once in a while, and this time we went to a nearby park right around the corner from my house here in Philadelphia, and we were talking micro brands, and we each brought three specific brands, three specific watches to the table that day, and we were just talking about them and things we liked about them, and they were watches that we really had our eye on that we might someday purchase. And in that video I made mention of a specific watch from Christopher Ward, and I want to play that clip right here. And then the last one for me is interesting because you already had a Christopher Ward.
Yes.
And I'm going for one too.
No Trident on this one though.
No, this is similar case shape as far as I know, but this is the C65 Dartmouth is what they call it. A few weeks after filming that little collaboration with Average Joe, he actually reached out to Christopher Ward. I think it was through Instagram. I could be wrong about that, but he reached out to them, was talking to them. He also very kindly mentioned me, and they ended up watching that little micro brand conversation video that we made and noticed that I mentioned their specific watch, the C65 Dartmouth. And so they emailed me and said, "Hey, we saw your video. Would you like to take a peek at that watch, get some hands-on time with it to review it?" And of course I said, absolutely, I'd love to. And so a little while ago they sent it over. I unboxed it already, did a video on that. And so I've been wearing this C65 Dartmouth for almost 2 weeks now. I have to send it back to Christopher Ward here in a couple of days. But I feel like I've got some good wrist time now with it. I can really share my thoughts about it and do the full review for today. And so that's what today's video is all about. We're going to be looking at the Christopher Ward C65 Dartmouth with the beautiful blue dial. Let's jump right in. All right, well here it is, the Christopher Ward C65 Dartmouth in this beautiful blue dial and bezel. I think it looks great and just a beautiful watch overall. We're going to jump right into the specs and features. I do want to mention, if you missed the unboxing, that the packaging from Christopher Ward is just amazing. I'm not going to redo the unboxing, obviously, but in case you don't know, the packaging is just top-notch quality. So I hope you'll check out the unboxing video if you're interested more in that. And as you can see, this is a COSC certified chronometer, so maybe we'll just leave that there as well as a reminder. But let's start off with some specs and features. Let's get some of those up on the screen there and talk about them real quick. I'm not going to read the long model number. You can see it there on the screen, but the movement is a Solida SW200 that is COSC certified. We'll talk a little bit more about the movement in a second. The crystal is sapphire, and it's a beautiful boxed domed sapphire crystal, as you can see. Just a gorgeous aspect of this watch. Case material is stainless steel 316L. Case diameter is 41 millimeters, 42 with the bezel. It does protrude past the case slightly, so that is 42 millimeters. Case thickness is about 11.8 millimeters as far as I measured it. Lug to lug distance is 46.5, but the bracelet does protrude past the lugs and articulates, as you can see there, past the lug. So I measured that distance as well as 50.8 millimeters. Just for your point of reference. Lug width is 22 millimeters. Band material is stainless steel as well. Water resistance on this watch is 150 meters. And as I weighed it with all the links, I got right around 159 grams for this vintage-inspired diver from Christopher Ward. Now, it is a COSC certified chronometer. You get this little certificate there that lets you know that, which is pretty nice. And of course, this watch is tested to be at an accuracy of -4 to +6 seconds per day. This movement, if you're familiar with the Sellita SW200, is self-winding and hand winding. It is hacking as well. It's a 26 joule movement, and it beats at 28,800 vibrations per hour. And it's a popular movement that many companies use, and I believe it's in a number of Christopher Ward watches as well. Let's jump into the design and durability of this watch. I'm trying to keep my reviews a little bit shorter. They have a tendency of going long, so I'm trying to streamline things a little bit to make them right around 10 minutes or so. Let's talk about the case on this watch. It's really one of my favorite things about this piece, and Christopher Ward calls it their light catcher case, and you can see why they call it that, because it is multifaceted and the light can catch it at a number of different angles, and it's a very slim case. As you can see, this watch is not thick by any means, and even if you took that boxed sapphire crystal out, it would be even thinner. But even with the boxed sapphire crystal, it's still a thin watch. The case is very thin, very comfortable on the wrist as well. I just love the beautiful mixture of polished sides here, brushed tops of the lugs, and just how it kind of curves around, has those different angles. It's just a beautiful case design, and the lugs, as you can see, kind of have somewhat of a curvature to them, and this watch feels great on the wrist. The case back, as you can see, is stamped there with the Royal Navy Crown insignia and Christopher Ward, and some other information there as well, but that is nicely done as far as the screw down case back goes. Really beautiful case, something that is one of my most favorite aspects of this watch. Moving to the bezel, as you can see, and if you're familiar with Christopher Ward watches, the bezel here is, thinner than many other dive watch bezels. A lot of times the bezel is a little bit thicker, but Christopher Ward has liked to use these like thinner bezels, and it looks great. And the bezel is nice. It has a kind of a navy blue aluminum insert in there, and there is some lume only on the triangle here on the bezel, and none of the numerals or indices here have lume on them, but the bezel works good. It's got a beautiful coin edge, as you can see, and the action is really nice and crisp and quality sounding. 120 click bezel, if I remember right. And everything seems to line up really good. No real back play to speak of here, and just a great action. I did admittedly sometimes find my fingers slipping a little bit, not too much, due to just a really fine coin edge there, but overall it's a good bezel. The crown is another one of my favorite aspects of this watch. Just zoom in there a little bit. It's an oversized crown. This crown is almost 8 millimeters in diameter, and just has a nice coin edge on it as well, and beautiful sign there with their twin flag logo, and something that adds, as Average Joe likes to say a lot, a pop. Adds some pop to this watch, makes it pop, is that blue little ring that you see there as well. And just a beautiful crown, works great. Of course, you unscrew it, and it sometimes doesn't pop out right away. You kind of got to pop it out yourself. But, the first position, I popped it out all the way there. First position is the hand winding position, obviously. That's what I'm trying to do. And then the other position hacks it, and you can change the time, obviously. But just a beautiful crown. I think it looks great, works great, and is one of my favorite aspects about this watch as well. Something that it kind of reminded me of was the Tudor Black Bay 58. Maybe I'll throw up a quick picture. And the crown designs are pretty similar in my opinion. You guys let me know what you think if you see the same similarities as I do there with the crown. It would have been cool to see a loomed crown there. In my unboxing video, I saw a little bit of this white there. I thought it might be loomed, but it's not. That would have been neat. Of course, that's just a nitpick thing, but overall, great crown. Let's move to the dial of this watch. And it's pretty simple dial, pretty straightforward, a nice matte kind of deep navy blue color to the dial. Everything is applied well as far as the indices go, and the indices are quite large. This watch is very legible. You got Christopher Ward there below the 12, and automatic and chronometer at the bottom, and then Swiss made there written as well. Very plain, simple, straightforward, but a very legible watch. The hand set, the hour and the minute hand are finished well and look great. In my opinion, just personally, I'm not too big a fan of the design of the hands, the hour and minute hand. I don't know, just the flat edge here to the minute hand. You know, I would have liked to seen more of a point to it. You know, makes it a little more precise, I guess. I mean, it's not a big deal, but I don't know. I would have liked to seen personally maybe a little bit different design in the hands. The second hand is great, looks great, nice white color to that as well. But overall, the dial is something really, really beautiful. And, you know, maybe some people would say it's pretty plain, but it's super legible for sure. And so the dial is nice. It's nice. I do want to mention, you know, about the Lume here. They are using TC1 Super Luminova. So there's Lume, you know, on the indices in the dial, the hands, and then some on the triangle on the bezel. So let's do a quick Lume shot and check it out. All right, I charged it up real quick there with my little UV flashlight. I think it's looking pretty good. Definitely a good healthy application of that TC1 Super Luminova, and shining pretty bright. All right, let's move on to the bracelet. The bracelet here is very high quality in my opinion. You know, a nice brushed finish, satin brushed finish on all of the bracelet links and the clasp as well. The only thing that would have been nice to see was maybe screw-in pins rather than these push pins, pin and collar system that they have here. But you can get by easy enough with the right tools adjusting it. And with the clasp, which is a nice milled clasp, you can see their name, Christopher Ward, nicely engraved there as well. And you can see that it's signed as well with the twin flag logo. Clasp works great. Double pushers here, no fold over or anything. And it does have this little ratcheting system inside that allows you to, you know, push the watch in or pull it out when you need to adjust it on the fly. So I think they're about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, about 4 positions if I'm not mistaken there that you can adjust it. That works great, and it's really easy to use. Something else as well, as far as attaching the bracelet to the case of the watch, they provide these quick release little tabs here for the spring bars, and it takes some time to get used to using them because you got to pull both of them instead of just having one. The best way I found to do it, you know, I originally tried by laying the watch down and doing it that way, but let's see if I can do it here on camera and show you how easy it is. I found that it's easier to hold the watch upright like this and then put your fingers underneath to get a hold of those quick release tabs there. Hold it like that, and then you're able to pretty much put it back in place pretty quickly, as you can see. So that makes it nice to be able to change bracelets, put it on a strap if you want, or whatever. The bracelet is really high quality, I feel, and very well done, as well as the clasp. Moving on to the price as we close down the video here. On a bracelet like this one you see here, this watch on Christopher Ward's website goes for $1,080. You can also get it on a number of strap options from Christopher Ward, and those go for $960. So it's not a cheap watch, but I think you get what you pay for with this watch. This is a high quality piece. It's a COSC certified chronometer. I don't think that is an unreasonable price, in my opinion, for what you get, and I've been really impressed by this watch. But before I say any more, let me jump back in front of the camera to share all of my final thoughts. Well, I have to admit that I really enjoyed my time with this watch from Christopher Ward, the C65 Dartmouth. There are a number of things that I love about it. I mean, just when I opened the box, and again, the quality of the packaging from Christopher Ward is top-notch. And as soon as I picked up this watch, I could just immediately tell, putting it in my hand, that this is a quality piece. You can just feel that sometimes, and definitely feel that with this Christopher Ward. And there are a number of things that I love about this watch. I love that case design that they have, that light catcher case. I love the crown on this watch, the oversized crown. And of course I love that it's a COSC certified chronometer with the Solita SW200 in there. A lot of things that I love about this watch. A few little nitpick things that I mentioned just with the handset. Not the biggest fan of the design of the hands here, and also the push pins for the bracelet. Would have been nice to see screw-in pins. I know a lot of micro brands do the screw-in pins these days, so that would have been nice to see as well. But just nitpick things. Overall, I really love this watch. I love the blue and just the overall high quality piece that this is, and it seems like a really good vintage inspired dive watch from Christopher Ward in this C65 Dartmouth. So if you're interested, I hope you'll check it out. There'll be links below to where you can find this watch on their website. They're not affiliate links or anything like that. It's not a sponsored video in any way, but I do thank Christopher Ward for loaning this watch into the channel for review, and I hope you do check it out if you're interested in it. But let me know what you think about this watch. Do you have any experience with this particular model? Do you have any experience with Christopher Ward? What do you think about them in general? Love to know what you think. And if you have any questions about this piece, let me know down below. I'll try and answer those for you. If you enjoyed the video, please let us know by leaving a like. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. We really appreciate that. But until next time, God bless. We'll see you later.